I get too old to deal with that.
Moment of silence. During 50 years, Cheryl Crew, Rock Michigan, well, part of the Great Lakes, so we'll do that. Sorry if you guys are doing it. Thank you. With that, we're going to call the meeting order, pledge allegiance, and then remain standing for prayer by Pastor Dominic. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in an attitude of prayer. Heavenly Father, it says in your word, in the sacred writings, to always be sure to give honor to whom honor is due. So on this day, before Veterans Day, we want to start as we should, by thanking you for all those throughout the history of our nation who have stood as guardians of our liberty, our way of life. We thank you for them, Lord. We pray, first of all, that you would cause us to live lives worthy of what they gave of themselves. Lord, we remember this day that they gave of themselves so that we could have meetings like this, so that we practice civil government and serve the people of our community. And so we do ask, Lord, for this meeting, that it would be profitable, that it would be fruitful, that it would be well run, and that things that are talked about and the deliberations that take place will be pleasing in your sight, so that we might join our brothers and sisters, fellow citizens, in living lives worthy of your grace. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Well said, sir. Thank you. All righty, welcome everybody. We're going to start with roll call, Lisa.
Mike Dunner,
Present.
Gwen Dusa,
Here.
Bill Gritzmaker,
Here.
Sherry Luce,
Here.
Ken Nichols,
Here.
Eric Rogers,
Here.
Timothy Waters.
Present.
Moving on, minutes, we have the zoning board of appeals, meeting from October 27th.
Move to approve the minutes of the zoning board of appeals from October 27, 2025.
I'll support.
A motion, Eric, and second Sherry, to approve the minutes of the zoning board of appeals meeting from October 27th, 2025. Any discussion? If not, Lisa, call roll.
Bill,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes, the motion carries. Moving on, we have the minutes from a regular council meeting from October 27th in front of us as well.
Move to approve the minutes of the October 27, 2025 meeting as presented.
Support.
I have a motion, Eric, and second Bill, to approve the minutes of October 27th, 2025 regular council meeting as presented. Questions or comments? Hearing none, Lisa, call roll.
Gwen,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes, motion carries. Moving on, presentations and communications. Daniel did include the information regarding the Hot Cha-Cha 5K mug run. Any questions for Daniel on that one?
How did you feel that it went? Danielle, I heard it's our first application though, since we started the process.
It is our first application, yes. I think it went good. Marcia did a fabulous job, so she was a great first applicant because she was very thorough in her application. And that's the exact type of things that we were hoping to have, so that we were all on the same page with communication. So it went well. We talked about it at our staff meeting. We made that little checklist just to help keep things on track for us, but I think it went well. hopefully, and I'll continue to include them like I did this time. The only time that it'll come to you for action is if they're asking you guys to contribute money that is not within the budget that you would need to approve.
Start moving on. We'll have the agenda approval presented or amended.
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
A motion, Bill, and a second here to approve the agenda of tonight's meeting, November 10th, 2025, as presented. Any comments? Lisa, call roll.
Sherry,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes, motion carries. Moving on to public comment. Anybody in the audience who regrets comment? Oh, if not, we'll have another chance at the end of the meeting. We'll move on to unfinished business. Anything from council?
I have a question getting out regarding, I see Larry Blissfield is, beginning, some of the revamping, of construction, they have to say renovation, but, yeah, a little bit of destruction, reconstruction. What's the status of it?
Yes, so actually, we did see that there was some work going on. We do not have a building permit for that yet or the plans. We have provided an extension so that they could get with us on plans. Todd went over there and tried to connect with them last week and was unable to. So he did leave a sticker letting them know that they need a permit. So right now we're trying to get in touch with them so that we can just communicate and get on the same page as them and make sure we're all in alignment with what's going on and how they're gonna get that all taken care of and cleaned up.
Asking because I don't know the process. So if there is not a building permit, are they allowed to continue building or are they supposed to stop right where they are?
They should stop and then come in and get that building permit.
I see.
And you're talking about the building that the roof collapsed on?
Yes.
Yeah, because there's technically demolition permits too, right, along with the repairs themselves. Technically shouldn't be.
Yeah, no, demolition is complete. It's just, however, he has a couple different ways that he could fix that. He could extend the roof out, he could move the front wall back. It's, as the property owner, really up to him how he wants to do that. But we're good with it. We just need the proper permits pulled and just to communicate to, again, make sure we're all on the same page.
But I think Mike's asking there should be also a demolition
There
permit
is
or
not,
not.
no.
Is there, do we have it? Is there supposed to be a demolition permit?
There is, we do issue demolition permits, yes. That one, to be fair to the property owner, was an emergency abatement by
Totally
the
different, yes.
village, which is why, and then no further demolition work was completed. So no demolition permit was issued. It would just be the, yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
And that was because of the safety factor, correct?
Correct, yes.
So that's something I saw was going on. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, moving on to the business for tonight's meeting. But first, payroll.
Move to approve the payroll register for October 2025, $118,315.08.
I'll support that.
Motion, Bill, second, Eric, to approve the payroll register for October 2025 in the amount $118,315.85. Any discussion? If not, please call roll.
can you make sure you guys speak into your microphones? They're having some problems hearing you. Thank you. Ken,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes, the motion carries. Moving on, up next, accounts payable.
I move to approve accounts payable for the period of October 15th to November 11th, 2025, in the amount of $302,711.31.
Support.
Motion carries. Second, Bill, to approve the accounts payable for the period of October 15th to November 11th, 2025, in the amount of $302,711.31. Questions on the bills? none, Lisa, call roll.
Tim,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Carried. Changed it up.
I don't know what happened. Had a stroke or something.
All right.
I'm not all here today, okay?
Moving on, we have a request from the administration for the 1 month water shut off suspension, much like previous years.
I move to suspend water shutoffs for 1 month of December 2020.
I support.
First, Tim, and second, Sherry, to suspend the water shut offs for 1 month, December 2025. Further discussion? Any discussion? Moving on, please call roll.
Eric,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes, motion carries. All right, moving on, talk about the employee benefit plan renewal and insurance. Danielle, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. So it is that time of year again. Our benefits renew on January 1st for a calendar year. And we do look at these as kind of a whole package. So I'm going to start with the healthcare and then go through the others. But if at any point you guys have questions, let me know. I do want to do something a little bit, or I'm recommending something a little bit different this year. I have talked to the employees about this, with the exception of our police officers who have their police union and they're under contract currently. So we can make changes during the next renewal for that. Chief, I did talk to Chief because he's not part of that, just to clarify. But typically we have always just had one benefit plan for our healthcare, and the employees have taken that or they've opted out. I would like to do something different this year and offer two different plans. We did budget a 20% increase in healthcare, and I know that the last several years we've talked about we want to pay for health benefits as long as we can. It's a way for us to retain our employees. It's a way for us to recruit when we're hiring, and it's a really good benefit for our employees. But healthcare continues to go up. So we budgeted 20%. We're looking at a 10.3% increase, which is within our budgeted amount. But at some point, we need to start looking at some different options. So I would like to offer the employees the option to stay in the current health benefit plan that we have. There's no changes to that. It's the HRA, same coverage, or the option to enroll in a Blue Care Network program, which is under the Blue Cross Blue Shield umbrella. And it's a point of sale plan, so it works a little bit differently than our current one, and it's with an HSA instead of an HRA. This plan would save, if all employees enrolled, it would be a 17% savings. I understand that not all employees will enroll, but I think that if we can get some of them to switch over and we can start saving money, that my long-term goal would be that we continue paying as much as possible. Because that's a cheaper plan, and because I would like to incentivize employees to switch to that plan, so there's no consequence for staying with the current one, but in order, because that is cheaper, I would like to incentivize by fully funding the HSA this year. And for the individual in-network deductible, it's $2,500. For a family in-network deductible, it's $5,000. So the employee would get that amount, depending if they're a family or an individual, in their HSA to start with. HSA is a little bit different than the reimbursement. It's like a debit card. So the employee owns that account. It is theirs. They have it when they leave the village, or assuming they've not spent all the money, of course. Where the HRA, they submit to then get reimbursed later. Even if, and again, it's hard to know because I don't know who will enroll or not, but let's say every employee enrolled and we funded, front-loaded that HSA, we would still see about a 5% savings. Again, I don't know exactly because I don't know what our employees, which option they'll go with, but hopefully we'll save some money if some of them switch.
So just jumping on that part there, Danielle. So when you make a statement, are you saying the 5,000 rate or the 2,500 rate you budget for the? If all the employees chose it and you front loaded the money,
as the incentive, the 5,000, let's just say rated it for the $5,000, that amount would still be able to save that percentage.
So the the employee they don't get to pick which. So if I'm a family, so
Right.
if I take that plan, I would get 5,000.
Right.
Where Lisa is an individual, so if
Right.
she switches to that plan, she would get 2,500. But if we front load that for all of our employees, which again, that's not going to be the case, but we would still see a 5% savings in our benefit plan. So that's why I'm trying to incentivize the cheaper plan, but I understand that plan may not be the best for all of our employees. So that's why I want to offer the 2 this year, so that we can start kind of transitioning, or again, if we can save on 10 employees, then maybe that's another year that we can continue paying benefits. Because that's kind of my end goal is, can we pay benefits as long as possible? And like this year, our rate is actually, our increase at the 10.3 is a little bit lower than I thought it would be, but it's still double digits, and it's been double digits since I started with the village. And it's not trending down, it's not trending to get cheaper at all. So that's it. Again,
What if every employee doesn't sign up here, talk about that realized 5% decrease? What if they don't? What if some stick with the traditional HR or whatever?
We're still saving money on those employees. I just can't tell you the exact percentage until I know which employees stay and which employees don't.
So you don't see an increase if they don't.
If they take that plan and we front load it, there's a savings. Even if I'm the only employee in the village that switches, you're saving on my plan. You're not saving on the other employees. You're still within budget, because again, I budgeted a 20% increase, but that's again why I want to incentivize the cheaper one to try to save. So that is my proposal with health.
Do you see any changes in coverages as you want to keep your doctor, you can keep your doctor kind of thing?
So it is a different plan. I don't know who everybody goes. So I pulled my doctors specifically. They're all in network still under this new plan. It would vary. I help some of the other employees look up their doctors. Every doctor we looked up was in plan. I didn't look at every employee. So there may be somebody that's not. But for the most part, according to Franklin Benefits, the coverage as far as in network and the doctors are the same. Blue Care Network is also, you can use it in Toledo, which we have a lot of employees that go down there to ProMedica Toledo Hospital. So it's accepted there. It does function a little bit differently than our current plan. And I can go into all the details of that if you guys want. I've talked to the employees about that, but I guess kind of high level, like right now, we pay 20% up until our deductible. With this different other plan, the Blue Care Network, they would actually pay their in-network deductible up front 100% first, and then they would pay 0% after. So the one plan, it'll kind of spread it out a little bit. With this HSA plan, you pay all at once and then nothing other than prescription. So there is some pretty significant differences to the plans, but they're still accepted by the employees' doctors. And again, this is why it's going to be like one employee, it might make sense for them to stay on our current plan, where another one, this cheaper plan is probably a better option for them. It's really going to be dependent on their specific situation and what their healthcare needs are.
What is the deadline for making the decision?
So we have to notify Franklin Benefits what we're doing with our renewal 45 days prior to the renewal. And this is always a very tight deadline, because we only get our renewals I got them, was it
October?
Yeah, it's about 60 days
Yeah.
that we get it, and then I have to get it on the next council meeting. January 1 is the official date. So we have to make a decision tonight. And
Can I ask a question?
Franklin Benefits will come talk to our employees about the plans, our current plan and the new one, and they do this every year regardless. If you guys say, no, we're offering one plan, they're still going to come. And then we'll go into open enrollment, and then all of the changes will be made by January 1st.
Our employees would have the option to either stay with our current plan or switch over to this.
Correct. It is up to the employees to determine which plan will be the best for them or which plan they want to go with.
Does the public get to ask questions during this?
The HSA would make sense based on them getting that deductible front loaded. It's almost like a raise, and, you know, it's sort of an incentive that we're trying to offer employees. Number one, it is saving the village money, but also that is money again that they can take with them if they were ever to leave. They can kind of use it as such rather than being reimbursed. That's uploaded or an upfront additional, I guess, quote, wage in a way, you know, that's given to those employees. The second thing I would say is, why wouldn't we talk to the police department union and say, are you interested in going with this option? Again, we don't want to quote 2 tiers of employees when we talk wages. Why would we not say, are you willing to accept this if it's going to save us money in the long run? Why would it? And if it's going to be cheaper for them, why wouldn't you offer that to them?
I just did it because we have to do an amendment and because of the time frame to do that. So we can certainly talk to them, and in fact, probably are going to start having conversations because the term of the current contract is September of 26. So we're going to have to start talking, but there was no, I don't think, and I'm still learning about unions, but I don't think it would have been a period of time that we could have fast enough by January 1, had that amendment with the union contract. So it's not that we're unwilling. If they are interested in this plan or want to make a change, we'll certainly, I think, look at an amendment, which ultimately is you guys, not me, but it's definitely not going to happen before January 1st.
So the second one, with the front load in the network, is that every year?
The front load?
Yeah.
So I have to look at benefits as a year by year because that's how we do our budget. So what I would like to do is, for as long as we're paying the higher cost 100%, I want to incentivize the cheaper one. I think someday we're probably going to say, as an employee, you take this plan or you buy up to this plan. And if that is the point that we say, we'll fund this plan 100% with no front loading, or you pay additional money for the more expensive plan.
Right.
I don't think that's this year. I don't think it's next year. I think it's coming in the next 5 years. I can't tell you specifically what year, but that's why I'm trying to bite the bullet. I guess at some point we've got to start doing something.
So the front load is an incentive to them.
Yes,
But is it
But it's not
yearly?
guaranteed every year.
it's
Okay, so
not
it's
here.
not guaranteed every year. Okay,
Correct.
that's what I,
Yes.
that's what I was.
But if next year we're paying 100% of both plans, I'm gonna make the same recommendation. But yes, it is not guaranteed every year. The employees know that.
Gotcha.
So with the other benefits that are part of our package, we have our dental insurance, which is renewed. We're proposing to renew Delta Dental. It's a 6% increase. We did budget at 12%, so that is within our budgeted amount. Our life and short-term disability are under rate guarantees, so there's no change. So we would like to renew with them. There is a slight increase with long-term disability. It's about $600 a year. So I don't even know, I should have calculated the percentage, but I budgeted a 12% increase and it's well below that. Our vision does not renew this year. We did a 5-year agreement on that. So that'll be next year that we'll have to renew vision. And then I am also recommending for the employees that stay with our current benefit plan in the HRA, that HRA is currently managed through or submitted through iSolved benefits. And I would like to switch to health equity for that. So their coverage does not change, just who they submit their reimbursement to instead of iSolved is health equity, which is quite a bit of a savings for us. I think I actually put 230% savings for us, and they have an app on the phone. It's supposed to be much more user friendly, very easy to use. iSolve is not always the most user friendly, but that's kind of our package as a whole that I'm recommending. If you guys have questions, I will try to answer them.
Can
Go ahead.
the employees contribute to their own HSA above and beyond?
Yes, so the IRS sets a maximum limit because it is a pre-tax contribution. So for the 2026 year, it's 8,750, so they could contribute the above and beyond. So I'll tell you, I'm going to take the cheaper plan. I'm asking the employees to do so, so I'm going to be contributing myself because it's pre-tax, and then I'll have that in the event that something comes up.
Does any unused money from the HSA account belong to the next year?
Yes, so you're allowed up to a certain amount because again, it's pre-tax, but whatever's unused then rolls over, you can carry that forward. And then when that employee, if they have an HSA, leaves the village of Blissfield, that is their account, they take it with them, the village does not have access to it. So it is similar to a bank account, but with restrictions on how you can spend that money. And then once you hit a certain point, you can also, it almost acts as a retirement a little bit, but you do have to hit retirement age.
I have an HSA myself, as according to things. I'm just gonna say, wow, in a good way. No one's given me $2,500 upfront to put into my HSA. No one is giving me $5,000 to put upfront into my HSA. I understand it. I would just certainly hope that all employees would absolutely understand that the village to consider this is a big whopping deal. I agree. I just want them to be appreciative of this. I don't want to hear any more morale issues. I just don't. I don't want to hear that kind of stuff when we're looking at this kind of stuff. I've had enough of that nonsense.
Maybe get a chief that doesn't
This
shoot
is
dogs.
a really good thing for them. It's a good thing, certainly from a financial point for our village. But wow.
Can you, when you talk to the employees, can you see if there's issues with keeping their current doctors? You know, if there's concern over that?
I did talk to all of the employees, and some of them were they still had to look their doctors up, and they know that their decisions pending what you guys do tonight, because they know my recommendation, but that you guys can overturn that. And then they have a little bit of time. They're going to meet with Franklin Benefits, because I know some of them have some specific questions about their situation. But again, the doctors that we've looked up quite a few. I think I helped, I want to say 5 different employees look up doctors, and we've not found a doctor that is not in network yet. And again, I'm not saying there's not one out there, because I'm sure there is, but so far they have been.
And the opportunity to choose is another thing. That doesn't happen with all businesses. You either get this or you get that. So I mean, to even have the opportunity from your recommendation, Danielle, again, that's another option that's out there that I want them to really appreciate, because they're not being told what they need to do if this goes through, and then they're getting this money for the incentivization.
Well, that's why I would highly like to offer it to PD if possible. Again, it's saving the village money, and it's benefit to them. So again, get with Officer Hamilton as the representative, we can pull it off and see what we can do on off that to them as well. And then secondly, I would encourage the employees this year, much like you talked about, contributing in, because if we set them up this year, we're taking care of their deductible, whether it's single or family this year, but if they have to contribute next year, at least they're setting themselves up to be caught up for the next incoming, fiscal year of having that coverage. So I would highly encourage that. It's tax-free this year. Consider that. As much as we've gone 20 years of luckily paying for our employees' insurance 100%.
And that doesn't happen in how many businesses either.
And your concern was that they'd have to open up their contract to negotiate that part.
Yes, it would have to be a contract amendment for the police department.
Right. That's a handful of employees compared to what I was used to dealing with. I think probably could be done.
I do too.
you're only opening up, but you're opening up the contract, but if you're only a portion. So that's, I agree with Mike, I think it should be offered to community as well.
5% deduction on our rates would be nice for you, don't forget a welcome surprise, so I think we can handle that. Sure.
Move to approve the 2026 employee benefit plan renewals as presented, including 2 health plan options, level 1 short-term disability and long-term disability renewals, and to authorize administration to execute all renewal and enrollment documents.
Support.
Motion, Bill, and a second, Eric, to approve the 2026 employee benefit plan renewals presented, including health plan options, the dental, life, short-term disability, and long-term disability renewals, and to authorize administration to execute all renewal and enrollment documents. Further discussion. I can tell you, thank you, Glenn. You're glad about the front loading.
I respect what's being done. I really do. I just want the employees to understand what this is. That number one, their insurance is paid for. That doesn't happen with very many businesses any longer. They're putting in no money for that. Number two, it's a front load. Number three, man, you can't go wrong on this. Why would you not want to work for the Village of Blissfield? I'm not talking to you directly, Lisa. I know you know this. And I'm not talking to you, Danielle, and I know you know this. I just seriously, I don't want to hear any more of this morale crap. I'm done with that. Not when we are going ahead and we are seriously looking at this. Danielle, I don't want any morale crap. And this, I'm not very professional, but I don't want any more that our administrator doesn't look out for us. I don't want to hear that anymore. You're definitely looking out for them. You're looking out for the village. You're doing all the things we expect you to do. And because you're doing that and it's saving the village money, I'm going to go with it. But I am not 100% sold that everybody deserves this honest answer. That's my 2 cents on it.
Thank you. Further discussion. Thank you. Further discussion. Please call roll.
Tim,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes. Motion carries. Moving on, reports. Anything for the administrator?
That was decided.
Russ.
Unless you have questions for me.
Gotta slow this down a little bit.
Mm,
All right, we've got the lieutenant here. Anything for lieutenant or question for the police department? Village treasurer. Where's the treasurer? Train.
No, he is sick.
So we do have his report. So if you guys have questions, go ahead and get with Mr. Hudson. Parks and Rec building and planning. Any questions on that report?
I don't have anything to purchase. Oh, that's not true. On the Parks and Rec, Danielle and I have had discussion, and we are suggesting that we talk committee of the whole, I believe in the month of December. I know we typically don't have a committee of the whole in December because of being with the holiday situation. However, we did talk about the putting the Parks and Rec on the front burner regarding the situation with the director. And I think that we need to have a serious discussion about where we as a council would like Parks and Rec to go before we go into the year of 2026. We really need to have that thoughtful discussion instead of having it at a meeting. So that's something that we'll talk about. Daniel, that would be the December one, correct?
Correct, yes.
That shouldn't take very long.
I don't think it
I
will.
got my opinion on it.
Yeah,
So.
I don't think it's gonna take, and I know that Danielle has some thoughts as well, and I'm certainly not gonna share those now, and I don't think she wants to either. I think the committee of the whole would be the right place to have that dialogue. Mike, you and I would probably have a little more history on this. We know that a lot of times the Parks and Rec has kind of been kicked down the road And I think we just need to have that serious conversation.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
I'll
why,
move forward.
Yeah.
Okay,
thank you.
well, let's aim for that for December, if you guys are okay with that.
What's the date on that?
It's oh my calendar here. December 15th.
We also have, the other reason we wanted to do the committee of the whole that day is because on the 16th would be our Parks and Rec meeting. And then we would know where council has an idea to go. Thank you.
Anybody else, Parks and Rec or Building and Planning? Now, moving on, council discussion. I'll start with that. I just want to say thanks to all the volunteers, the staff, the committee, for their hard work on Yuletide last weekend. So I saw Danielle, Lisa, numerous staff, Laura, hard work, and the committee, and the volunteers for pulling that off. Anybody else have? Yes, sir, Tim.
I've been asked by different residents of the community, what do you think about the police shooting 2 dogs? And what about the shooting of 2 little dogs? So I asked the question, how much does a little dog weigh? And someone said 5 pounds. Okay. Well, according to my AKC dog book, history tells us, ironically, the dog known today as the American Gentleman evolved out of tough canine fighters from Britain. It is amazing that a dog originally bred to fight is now recognized as a loving family dog. So the Boston Terrier can range anywhere from 15 to 25 pounds in weight. So let's just say one 20-pound dog attacks you. How are you going to defend yourself? And then to have a second one attack you simultaneously. Now you have 40 pounds.
How about kick a
As I
10-pound
understand it,
dog?
the chief was walking on a public sidewalk when he was attacked by 2 Boston Terriers. What is confounding to me about this whole situation is, why aren't the dog owners being questioned? Why weren't the dogs on a leash or contained in a fenced yard, which would be responsible dog ownership? What if these 2 Boston Terriers had attacked a child or an elderly person who could not have defended themselves? Would the media attempt to exploit them? Is it because Chief is a police officer? Did any of the neighbors check on his welfare after he was attacked, or even while he was being attacked? It's easy to criticize and say what should have been done. But the truth is, none of us were being attacked. It was the chief. Do you know what you would do if you were in that situation? I fully support the Blissfield Police Chief, Dale Greenleaf, and his response to being attacked by 2 Boston Terriers. I would that people would look at it for what it is and give respect to a man who did what he felt necessary to stop the attack. Thank you. That's all I have.
Eric?
Danielle, yes. Can you give us an update on the school tennis court water discussions?
I spoke with Mr. Abbott last week inquiring on an update, and he said, I am working on it. We will get with you soon, but I do not have an exact date.
I just wondered if there was an update.
Are we in a position to give a date on this email? Or is that rude / inappropriate? Because this has been going on a year, 9 months, I know, for sure.
No, I can share a deadline if you would like to.
I just, is the reason, I mean, if this is helpful to them, we need to make some decisions regarding that pickleball court. I mean, we can't go any further on that material until we know and finish this material.
So you guys have a couple.
Can we go back to the dog murder?
Committee of yourself, Gwen, Mike, and Ken. So subcommittee, you can tell me a deadline, or council now can tell me a deadline, whatever you would like to do. If the subcommittee wants to talk about it, because council did appoint the three of you to talk to the school and work through some of that. So whatever your preference is.
And then what?
This affects it affects our budgeting, our planning, you know, it's not just the subcommittee, but council as a whole, we've tried to figure out what we're gonna do with these tennis courts, we've talked about the pool, we've talked about rebuilding, we had a, you know, Parks and Rec meeting for input on pickleball ideas or options, so again, we need to know how to act too, so it's
Right, so if we set a deadline, and then what? Oh, I know, I agree, it's been a long time. So if we set a deadline, and then what? What I'm saying is, I don't have a problem setting a deadline, but we need to know what we're going to say. If the deadline comes, what are we going to do? And what is our desire for resolving the situation prior to the deadline?
I think we're waiting on them to provide information so we can make a
Right.
decision.
So if we don't get it, then are we going to make a decision? Which is, I think that's the whole reason for the subcommittee, is so that we can kind of plan out what it is that we want to happen, or what we're willing to have happen before we set a deadline. I think maybe the subcommittee needs to meet first.
Okay.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. We'll set that up.
That ended it,
Make sure you emphasize that, and then what? 'Cause we're gonna get them. Right, that's the whole thing, and then what?
got further, Gwen?
No, I'm all set, thank you.
Tim, well said. Thank you. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, or about a month or so ago, Butch Miller was here and was telling us about the German Memorial event at Custer National Cemetery. That event takes place this Sunday. It's at 2:00 at Custer National Cemetery at 2:00. It's on the way to Kalamazoo off of 94. So if anyone's able to make that, I want to try to make that. No promises on that, but that's my plan.
Thank you. All right, moving on, second round public comment. Anybody that cares to address council, absolutely, please approach podium station name for the record if you would.
Yes, my name is Christina Wilhelm. And thank you, members of council. I'm addressing you this evening regarding an issue that many residents agree has become a serious and growing concern: the rising costs and declining quality of village water service. My family and I moved to the village of Blissfield in 2018 from Toledo, Ohio. We were drawn here by the promise of a simpler life, a sense of safety and community, and an affordable cost of living. At that time, our water bill, July of 2018, was approximately $70. Since then, water rates have increased by more than 60%, our most recent water bill at $200. Despite these significant increases, there's been little to no communication from the village explaining the reasons behind them. As a resident who elected each of you to represent us, we deserve transparency, accountability, and a detailed explanation of these increasing costs. At the current rate, my family will pay over $2,400 per year for water. That's nearly half the cost of what I pay for property taxes. This is unreasonable, especially given the economic challenges so many families are already facing. Even before using a single drop of water, many households are charged more than $100 per month. In addition to the financial burden, the quality of our drinking water is also concerning. On multiple occasions, the water running from our taps has been visibly discolored when I fill it for my daughter to bathe. To ensure our family's safety, we've had to install a filtration system. That's an additional $90 expense per month, as well as many others in our village who have had to shoulder this by purchasing drinkable water. This raises serious questions about the safety and the reliability of our water supply. We are asking, where is this money going? The residents of this village deserve a clear, itemized explanation of how water revenue is being allocated. Are profits being generated? And if so, how are those funds being used? We also understand that the water treatment plant had major infrastructure repairs that needed to be addressed. By all accounts, they were known, and I don't know that those are fully taken care of. So why are taxpayers now bearing the full weight of that neglect? The situation has reached a breaking point. We, the residents, are asking you, our elected officials, to take immediate action, provide transparency, develop a plan to reduce our water costs, and ensure that our community has access to clean, affordable, and safe water. This is not just an inconvenience, it's a crisis for many families. Water is a basic necessity, and it is your responsibility as council members to act in the best interest of the people you serve. We expect an honest explanation, a clear plan, and real solutions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else who cares? Yes, Ms. Shank. Please do.
My question to you
Hold on, Jackie, say your name. Do it.
Jackie Bates, have you ever been on the water plant?
Yes,
Okay, you've been on the tour
yes,
and talked to more.
not directly. No.
Okay, you should. Do you have any idea of how much electricity, the chemicals and the process that they have to do to make that water safe?
Like I stated to the council, though, that information has not been delivered to village residents.
There's several
You
things.
gotta address council, you can't go back and forth, unfortunately.
There's several things on the village homepage, if you read that stuff. And I'm confident in saying, make an appointment, go out and talk to Nora. Because these are all very smart people, but not as smart when it comes to water as Nora. She would be able to give you can ask her questions, she's an ace. That would be far more effective than, they know a lot, but Nora would be the one to talk to. And I'm sure she would be receptive to doing that.
I appreciate it.
Okay, I've been on the tour twice. I think Nora does a great job. She comes to meetings, she always answers questions. If she were here tonight, she was here a couple meetings ago, but she's not here tonight. So she would talk to Nora. Okay? I don't like it either. But it is what it is for now. Right? Okay.
Thank you, Jay.
Christina, I don't know if you're familiar with this or not. Sometimes a council can talk with you and sometimes we cannot. You can kind of choose that kind of a thing. I just like to ask you a couple quick questions. I think what Jackie's referring to as well. So you've been on the water tours. Have you had the opportunity to come in and speak directly with Danielle regarding the transparency?
Not yet.
I'm not always the biggest online Facebook kind of stuff. Facebook, in my opinion, for this kind of stuff is not transparent because that's not going to give you that, it's not going to give you the information that you're looking for. I would highly suggest that you make an appointment. I mean, we can do all the stuff, but I would make an appointment with Danielle. And the reason I say that is she can show you exactly on the website where you can find some of that information that you're not able to locate, because I do believe that our village is being transparent. From our perspective, certainly you're saying in your perspective it is not, and that is reality to you, and I respect that. But I think once you find out where some of that information is located, not that you should have to search all over for it, I hear where you're coming from, but I think being educated on where it is and how the water is created. Also, the numbers are transparent. You just probably don't know where to look for those numbers again to see how much it does cost to do as Jackie's saying, the chemicals, the amount of people that are out there, how much money is in the account, so to speak. How a lot of people think that our water comes as part of our general account. It's not, and that's stuff that you probably don't know as a quote, regular citizen. When I was a regular citizen, I knew none of that stuff either. And it's our water monies have to be separate than our general fund, and the water bill has to be paid for, and our water systems have to be paid for by our water bills. There's just all this stuff that's out there that you may not be familiar with. I think once you have that opportunity to talk with someone and schedule probably about a half an hour meeting so that you can see what this material is, that will help you understand. Unfortunately, it's not going to help everybody understand, but once you understand it, not saying you're going to like what you see.
I think I would like an explanation as to why the significant increase. Or, I mean, obviously, things have increased, with the economy. A gallon of milk that was, $1.50 is now $2.30. A carton of eggs was,
You understand all that. Right.
So why the increase?
Why the increase to that type of a percentage?
Yes, it's extensive.
Yes.
That's a huge burden to a family of 4.
And I can,
And to our elderly community members who are living on fixed incomes,
yes,
to our single, our veterans, people are on very fixed incomes.
yes.
And like I said in my statement, we came here because it was significantly cheaper to live here, than it is in the city of Toledo, or we were looking at Sylvania and we couldn't afford that. And, I'm looking at my tax bills for my winter and summer taxes, and I'm paying nearly half of that for just to be able to drink and wash my clothing, and then having the additional costs to make sure that it's truly, and is it truly safe and clean enough for us to be drinking when it's running brown from my taps. And I know I'm not the only village resident that has those serious concerns.
You are not the only resident that has those concerns. You articulated very well.
Yeah, and I would really hope that there is something that we can do as a village to help reduce these costs. They can't continue to go up. That's not feasible. It's just not.
And I can assure you, and I think the whole board here can assure you that that is something that we're definitely, we are working on that. We don't have any specific answers right now. I guess the biggest thing I can share to you is this, is that we do have an engineer that's going to be looking at some different ideas of where we can get our water from.
Sure.
And so we are recognizing it. We all pay the same water thing. We get it.
Yeah.
We know the percentages, how they've maxed and increased. I don't want to promise you that they're going to get any lower though. If I tell you that, I would be lying to you, and I don't want to lie to you. But I can assure you that we recognize the cost, the percentage of the cost, and the questions that residents have. Quality, when Nora was here, she could tell you that the quality of our water, it does meet the criteria that needs to be there. I don't know those numbers, and she would know those. But again, meeting, I think, with Danielle to make that would give you an idea of answering perhaps a lot of the questions.
Okay, if that information is hard for, the general public though, to access, and you have to kind of dig deep.
Well, it's not really. And
Okay.
I just didn't want to be snarky. Okay, if you take a look on a week or on a monthly basis,
Mhm.
Danielle does have a newsletter that does go out. And on that, a lot of times there is information about what's going on with the water plant and why our water rates are the way that they are. Those questions have been addressed. So that is on our website. I just want
It's fine.
to say that.
It's fine.
So I think maybe with some of that education.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just to add a little bit to that too, Christina. It isn't just the water treatment plant, but the wastewater treatment
Yes.
plant as well.
Yeah.
Because it is all one big system.
Yeah, and it's sewer too. I'm aware of all of that. Yeah.
And yes, as a family of 2, we're right up there.
Yeah, yeah.
So I get that. But just our water quality is very good. Sometimes it's the infrastructure that each home has. And my home had a problem with water, and my free meter ended up costing me over $5,000 because the new free meter that was installed. My service line from the meter, from the shutoff to my house burst because the pipe had rotted. It was all galvanized, and so the meter didn't cause it. The meter exposed my problem maybe a little sooner than I would have wanted it to happen. So it's those kinds of things that can affect the water quality. And it is not, but please rest assured, it's not the quality of the water coming out of the plant. It's possible other things that can be happening. And I'd be glad to talk with you on some of those things afterward if you would like. Just maybe just check and see if your house fits those things that maybe can be taken care of quickly. All right, but thank you. Thanks for coming and saying something.
We appreciate that.
I like having you come in instead of keyboard to Facebook, because a lot of people like to complain on Facebook and sometimes they don't have the facts either.
Well, that's how I was raised, so.
Yeah. Appreciate it. And then you're getting information where you can go to as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For the public comment. All right, moving on, we have committee of the whole scheduled for next week. Are we gonna make it? I would like one quick addition with that, to talk about, Danielle sent out the email previously about Christmas holiday regarding employee dinner, that kind of stuff, or lunch. We can throw that out there if you want to discuss that. We should be able to work through that. Anyone that's gonna miss? All right, anything else, from council? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn at 6:54 PM.
Support.
A motion, Eric, second, Bill, to adjourn at 6:54 PM. Lisa, call roll.
Gwen,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes, motion carries.